All right. Hello everyone. So today in this very good occasion, I would like to explain about the article that I found related to strategies to manage that related distraction in the classroom. So the title of the article that I found is called "Preventing Digital Distraction in Secondary Classroom: A Quasi-Experimental Study." First, I'm going to explain about the research question on this question about what is the purpose the author want to do this research is to check how effective are simple strategies like posters, checklists, and mini lesson in reducing digital distraction in secondary classroom. So because I use the strategy of how we can reduce um, distraction in the student in the secondary classroom, that's why I choose this interesting article. And then there is methodology. The design of this article is called quasi-experimental study. It means that the researcher only used the existing class, so they didn't create the class, they didn't test the student to be able to assign them in the group. They just used the existing class. And then the participants, it is Spanish class student that is held in Spanish. And then groups that is used, there are two, which is experimental, which is given the intervention that are weekly declared instruction lesson, self-monitoring checklist, and then visual prompts. And then there's also the control group, which is given the treatment as usual. There is no different. And then the duration of this research is 6 weeks. Next is the key finding, which is the most important part of this article. So this article shows a positive result, which is the student in the experimental group showed less phone use during class and increased awareness of distraction habits after 6 weeks of using posters, digital distraction lesson, and then also checklists. So they shows a significant change in their behavior related to touch distractions, but there's no significant change in task switching behavior. Next is the interesting fact that I found in this article. When I first read this article, I feel like to reduce a touch distraction in the classroom, I think it will be hard because the student need their phones all the time, especially they bring it to school, and then I think it will be so complicated and challenging to make our strategy. But when I read this article and then found that they use just mini lesson, self-evaluation checklist, and then also posters, I'm very curious if it will make like a huge changes, but it did. So like giving such a simple things like giving student checklists and putting sign in the classroom can really help them stay focused. And then next is critic that I have for the study. So the study used a quasi-experimental design, which means the students were not randomly assigned to the group. So they used the existing class. So this makes it harder, especially when I read it for the first time, it makes it harder to conclude that is it really the treatment that they are given that make changes or it's not because they just use the existing class. And then the question that I have. So my main question is that because they are done this research in Spanish class. So what if in different subject like math or science, will the result be the same or not? And then there's also the implication and then the conclusion that I've got. First is, like I said before, simple and low-cost strategies are effective in reducing digital touch distraction. And then the teachers can manage digital distraction without complex tools. And then encouraging self-regulation builds student responsibility, and also visual cues and regular check-in can really improve classroom and make the students stay focused. And also, I think that's all. Thank you.